Novice Neri here, attempting to assemble this massive steel bed. If I can do it, then I'd recommend it to anyone, as I definitely don't really do much DIY. I'll let you know my initial impressions when unboxing it, whether it's easy enough for me to assemble, and reasons why I opted for a tall steel bed. Please like and subscribe for more home and garden reviewing ideas. So, there was a dint on the cardboard box on arrival, and after getting all the pieces, nuts and bolts out, I thought they'd sent me the wrong size. Then eventually I realised they hadn't. It was because two segments needed to be joined on top of each other to get the height. I checked everything over, and as you can see there was a little bent piece of metal and a jaggedy bit. Not too big a deal, so I commenced with peeling off the plastic. Wasn't sure whether I needed to, but figured this could start to look tatty if I left it on, if any bits started to peel off. So I proceeded to unpeel. This was a bit of a ball ache, and took a fair few hours. I think I read that the longer the metal beds are in storage, the harder it is to get the protective plastic off. Instructions were simple enough. Pictures were really tiny though, so I had to squint to see where the bolts went. It wasn't clear to me if it mattered which metal piece overlapped the next one. So, unless you're a perfectionist, I don't think it makes any difference really, apart from aesthetically. Now when I was trying to get the screws in, the panels would wobble everywhere. I started off with it flat on the floor, then I had to balance the sheets against something so I could fasten the rest up. But I needed to put a temporary bolt on the ends to stop it wobbling so much while I did this. I found this all a bit tricky, but there's probably a much easier way to do it, if you know how. Now all four sides were done, in the comfort of my conservatory it was time to manoeuvre them to the garden. They're really lightweight, so this was easy peasy. Again I came across the same problem when joining them up. I had to balance them, this time with some plant pots. I had a few screws at the bottom, so would have had to flip the whole thing over in order to fix them in. Instead I opted to get the other half to help me, and I let him attach the supports in the middle too, as I had a few minor cuts on my hands by then, as I didn't bother wearing gloves like the instructions advised, and was feeling a bit exhausted from the hours it took me to assemble it all. He got his bolt tightener thingy, and it was a lot easier with two people to tighten the rest of the screws together, and finally it was done, hooray! I just need to fill it in now. I found it all a bit tedious putting it together and a bit tricky, but manageable just about, until I got near the end and needed help. But the end result was what I was after, and I definitely would like a few more raised beds, and have already volunteered my partner to put them together.